deep breathing is both economical and efficient. This chart compares normal, shallow and deep breathing. The volume of air that is respired in normal breathing can be said to be 500 milliliters, half a liter. In shallow, 200 milliliters, and in deep breathing, 1000 milliliters or 1 liter. If the rate of breathing is 12 in normal, 30 in shallow and 6 in deep, we get a total ventilation of 6000 milliliters or 6 liters. So, breathing 500 milliliters 12 times a minute for 6000, 200 milliliters 30 times a minute for 6000, and 1000 milliliters 6 times a minute for 6000. What happens with this ventilation of 6000 milliliters is that the dead space, that space where there is only conduction, there is no exchange of gas. So right from the tip of the nose up to around the 16th and 17th divisions of the tracheobronchial tree, it is just the conducting zone, and the volume of air in this conducting zone, it is just a pathway, and because it has no use, there is no exchange of gas, it's called dead space, as good as being dead. 150 milliliters. So 150 milliliters when you are breathing 12 times a minute is 1800. When that same is being breathed 30 times a minute is 4500 just for the dead space, and when you are breathing 6 times a minute it is just 900 going into the dead space. So out of 6000 milliliters that is being taken through the process of ventilation, the alveoli, that is where the exchange is occurring. That is where the most important aspect of oxygen getting into us and carbon dioxide getting out of us. That whole process is at the alveoli level in the respiratory zone. The alveoli, the respiratory bronchioles, the alveolar duct and the alveoli. The alveoli ventilation is thus 6000 minus 1800, 4200 is what you are actually getting for your effort. Whereas here in shallow breathing, with all this effort, out of 6000, 4500 has gone for the dead space. You are in reality only getting 1500. But when you do deep breathing, out of 6000, you only lose 900 and hence you get 5100. So if you look at it, with normal breathing you are getting 4200, but you are breathing 12 times a minute. Whereas with deep breathing, 5100 with just 6 breaths per minute. Definitely we can see how both the normal and the deep as compared to the shallow, where you are breathing 30 times a minute but you are only getting 1500. Much ado about nothing, as they say. Well, that is what shallow breathing is. And shallow breathing is so common in today's world. And that is why yoga gives us the message of pranayama. The moment we become aware of the respiratory system, the moment we start to breathe deep, slow, regular, with consciousness, bringing the cortical control, that conscious control over the normally unconscious brainstem activity. Well, with deep breathing, just breathing 6 times a minute, conscious deep breathing of 1000 milliliters per breath. And in pranayama, we often breathe much more. This is a very conservative number, 1000. We are still getting 5100 at the level of the alveolar ventilation with just 6 breaths. Energy, efficiency, economy of effort, giving you the maximum benefit. After seeing this chart, comparing normal, shallow and deep breathing, and realizing that with just 6 breaths, you can get to your alveoli the maximum ventilation, I hope you start making a conscious decision to start practicing pranayama more and more. It is both economical and efficient.